That's right. You probably read the title. I think Max Holloway's fanboys have gone too far. Now, let me explain what I mean. You see it in the title. Max Holloway's fanboys, fanboy should be the word that I'm kind of sticking to because I'm not saying all Max Holloway fans. I'm a Max Holloway fan. But the fanboys of Max Holloway are acting as if Ilia Topuria is scared of Max Holloway, which makes me chuckle. It makes me laugh. And also, I think that people are somewhat delusional about how easy this fight is going to be for Max. Now, me personally, I think Ilia Topuria is going to whoop his fucking ass. Okay, I think Ilia Topuria is going to fucking whoop Max Holloway's ass. But I understand that Max Holloway is elite. I understand he's one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. I understand that he's capable of winning this fight, and I'm going to break down this fight, but I'm going to show you guys just how certain these Holloway fanboys are when it comes to his chances against Ilia Topuria. I even put up a poll asking you guys who you had winning this fight. 65% of people are picking Max. Only a measly 35% are picking Ilia Topuria, but I think that Ilia Topuria should be the favorite. It's funny because, I know Holloway knocked out Rufus. I get it. He's coming off of the greatest KO of his entire career, the greatest win, arguably, of his entire career. Just because he beat Justin Gaethje doesn't mean he's going to beat Ilia Topuria, who's a totally different stylistic matchup. Gaethje's got the lightweight skill. Topuria is a featherweight. We know what featherweight skill is all about. We know that when people move up a weight class, they have success. That's not what the video is about, but you know it. Okay? Topuria ain't Gaethje, son. Hear me out. Do I think you are delusional if you're picking Max Holloway to beat Ilia Topuria? No. Of course not. I don't think that's a delusional pick. So when I say the word delusional, I'm just calling out people that are talking about this fight being easy. Max by any way he wants. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Do I think people are delusional in saying that Ilia Topuria is scared of Max? Yes! He's not scared of Max Holloway. That's a fucking joke. Come on. Let's stop bullshitting around. You think this guy's scared of Max Holloway? Bro, we saw his facial expression, man. He looked like he was pooping his jocks. I don't give a fuck about his facial expression post the Holloway KO. It was a crazy KO. He's not scared of Max Holloway. Okay? This guy just knocked out the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the fucking planet. And you guys are sitting here telling me that he's scared. He's shivering in his boots because he could potentially get KO'd. He's fought people that could KO him before. Okay? People are so unbelievable with their freaking glazing of Max. You haven't seen this type of glazing since back in the day when they thought that Holloway got robbed against Volkanovski. I just rewatched that fight. It wasn't a robbery, by the way. I know that you guys aren't going to take that serious because I'm a big Volk fan, but I watched that fight. Volkanovski clearly won the third round. Fourth and fifth were pretty obvious as well. But you got to hear me out, okay? Max Holloway struggles against a certain type of opponent. He struggles against people that are short, that stand with a low center of gravity, hunched over, that also have an ability to mix it up, meaning mix in the takedowns. Okay? Holloway didn't look so great against Frankie Edgar. He got beat 3 times by Alexander Volkanovski, did pretty well in the second fight, but no cigar. And his volume suffered in that fight compared to what it would normally look like in front of a more upright opponent, a taller opponent. And some people are going to be saying, well, what about Aldo? Aldo's the same height as Ilia Topuria, and look at what he did to Aldo. Listen, Ilia Topuria stands low. He has the threat of the takedown. He is a different sort of fighter. And the first thing I'm going to mention before I show you some of these comments, Holloway's way to get going in a fight, recently at least, is to start body shotting. Holloway likes going to the body early on his opponents. We're talking jabs to the body, right hands to the body. If you watch his fight with Justin Gaethje, I think he lands 10 punches to the body of Justin Gaethje in the first round. If you watch his fight with Arnold Allen, there's plenty of punches to the body against a guy like Arnold Allen. Okay, against Volk, against Frankie, not so much. And I'm not saying if he can't land his little pit shots to the body, then he's going to lose. But what I'm saying is a big part of his offense can't even work against a guy like Ilia Topuria. And that's why what you'll see when Max Holloway fights shorter opponents, that his volume, it kind of falls off a little bit. His ability to mix things up and set things up kind of falls off a little bit. Holloway's 1-2s down the pipe. He's a guy that likes to snowball and move forward and fight downhill. They're less effective. His 1-2s are less effective when he's not backing someone up and he's not, just going straight from the eye shot. Holloway's freaking coming at you from the eye level. Max Holloway wants to freaking punch you at the eye level. He doesn't want to punch down there. Holloway looks uncomfortable when he's got to punch down there. You've got these sneaky guys like Topuria and Volkanovski that are bobbing and weaving, and it gives Holloway issues. I'm telling you, just watch the fights. Just watch the fights. Max Holloway struggles against these guys. His volume isn't that impressive. Okay, he knocked out Justin Gaethje. People are acting like the entire fight Holloway was just fucking marauding on him the whole time, like a tornado. He was styling on him. He was making it a clean fight. Almost finished him in the 5th before the real finish. It was a masterclass, but it's Justin Gaethje. And I know Gaethje's a good striker, but my goodness, is he trash compared to Ilia Topuria. I'm sorry, he just is. I should have known that in hindsight. I think I overrated him a little bit against Max Holloway's stylistic matchup, but he was coming off of a win over DP. He was coming off of a win over Rafael Fiziev, but featherweight skill is different. When you actually think about Justin Gaethje's style, and I wish I could have seen this before the fight, Gaethje's upright. He's bouncing around like this. His body is there to be hit all day. You watch the freaking Eddie Alvarez fight. It's there all day as well. Eddie Alvarez was able to tee off on the body. Holloway's there, just free body shots, all right? Free body shots, free body kicks. Gaethje's upright, bouncing around like this. And the only thing he's got for Max is an overrated leg kick. I think Gaethje's leg kicks have always been a bit overrated. And you've also got a big, oafing, grunting set of hooks. And that's basically what you're getting from Justin Gaethje. Okay? Yeah, Justin Gaethje dropped Max. Yeah, his style is more complex than what I just painted it out to be, but it's only a little bit more complex than that. Ilia Topuria is in here, man. Ilia Topuria is one of these guys in here. He's freaking bobbing and weaving, and he's standing low, and he's got his forearms bladed into his stomach. Okay? And he's got the bladed stance. And yeah, the leg kicks are there. But guess what? The leg kicks were there for Volkanovski. And what the fuck did it do for him? Absolutely nothing. Max Holloway, I know he's got some good kicks. I get it. The spinning back kicks are amazing. All right? But most of Holloway kicks are little pit-pap kicks. Okay? Little pop shot kicks like Volk's. And they're not even as dynamic as Volk's. And Volkanovski shut him down with leg kicks. And Volkanovski's leg kicks are actually pretty good. They didn't do shit to Ilia Topuria. So right off the bat, the kicks to the legs. Come on, if the leg kicks are still a thing that people are talking about as a nightmare for Topuria, you just didn't pay attention to his last fight. They're not. The body kicks, okay, now we're talking. Volkanovski was landed to the body of Ilia Topuria. I could see Holloway landing to the body. Holloway, he sort of stands tall into his kicks and he boosts up. It looks like Holloway, sort of boosts himself up when he's throwing those kicks. And I think he's going to be able to crack Ilia to the body with those. But, do I see a world where Holloway's just snowballing and beating him up like Brian Ortega? Fuck no! I'm sorry, I don't. This is the thing. Holloway is a much better fighter than he used to be. Holloway can win fights without just snowballing and throwing tons of volume. He can win fights the way he did against Justin Gaethje, kind of measuring himself and, kind of dropping his volume a little bit, but finding his shots and picking his moments. But it's so much easier against upright opponents. It's just hard for him to do it. It's hard for him to land those knockout blows against the shorter, stockier guys, the Diddy boxing guys. Okay? And Ilia's got a good chin too. Okay, the real issue for Ilia Topuria are the uppercuts. The uppercuts are the issue because Holloway can set up an uppercut. That's his way to win this fight. Or that's one of the ways he can win this fight. Yeah, the spinning back kick. We talk about the spinning back kick. That's an amazing weapon for Max Holloway. The same one he busted the nose of Justin Gaethje with in the first round. But he ain't Yair Rodriguez. Okay? I know Holloway's got a good kicking game, but he's not Yair. He's not whipping him up in the blink of an eye. All right. He's not the most natural born roundhouse kicker. All right. He's got a good spinning back kick. He's got good oblique kicks. He's got, good body kicks. But I just don't see Max Holloway's kicks finishing Ilia Topuria. And if you look at his boxing against these guys like Frankie Edgar, you can watch the first round of the Frankie Edgar fight. I know he's a different fighter these days, but you almost have to sit there scratching your head asking yourself, wait, did he throw a single strike? That's literally what the thought process is if you're watching that first round. Wait, has Holloway even thrown a single strike? Feels like Edgar's ahead. He won that fight. It was so underwhelming. Against Volkanovski in the rematch, the fight in which Holloway did really well, third, fourth, fifth, Volk starts finding his groove. I mean, Holloway really struggles to put shots together. Like, he's landing single shots, he's landing leg taps, but like the real damaging strikes to the head are tough, especially on a guy like Topuria. And the thing is, yeah, you could say Volkanovski was hitting Topuria, and I remember the Volkanovski fight. I watched it this morning. Volkanovski has that ability to kind of glide in the octagon with his footwork. He can glide, he can move laterally and jab at you, and he's in and out. He's a much more dynamic sort of striker. He's exploding into a jab, and then he's out, and he's freaking jabbing you up, and he's freaking gliding around. He's the guy that's sort of, setting them up, and he's just like this. He's setting them up. Yo, dude, it's just like so fun to fucking impersonate these guys' styles. But Holloway's, one of these guys, he pop shots, and then he freaking lands an uppercut, right? But he's not like a glider. He's not he's not like this super dynamic guy that can jab at range and just pop a jab out there and pop a jab out there. Holloway's a guy that sets his stance and freaking lands big shots, or he's moving you down back against the fence. The issue is you can't do that with Topuria. You can't. You can't do that with Topuria. He's got too much power. Good luck backing down Topuria, who's got a big gnarly overhand ready to land. And that's the issue. These guys that are shorter, guys like Volkanovski that have that ability to ambush Max Holloway when they don't see it coming, when they don't see the big punch, because these guys are just slipping their head off on the center line right up top. They're landing that big overhand. I think Topuria is going to beat up Max. I think he's going to damage his face. I think he's going to really beat him up. Now, again, when I say I think he's going to whoop Max's ass, I don't mean it in a way where he's just so many levels above Holloway. I just think that the big damaging overhands of Topuria, the combinations ripping Holloway to the body, landing the solid leg kicks every once in a while, the same ones in which he was spinning around Volkanovski, I think all of those shots are going to be available for him. And I think that Holloway wears damage, not the best, right? He doesn't wear damage so well. He's got a lot of swelling and scar tissue, and he's been cut open a million times. And yeah, you could say that Topuria looked like a raccoon that just got, mauled by the local tabby cat. When he fought Volkanovski, people act like he didn't, get his face busted up. Because I showed a video earlier last week on my channel about how Volkanovski is the king of damage, and he makes everyone's face look, like they've been in a war every single time. And they'll say, like, what about Topuria, though? How did that fight go? What was his face looking like? I mean, Topuria got beat up by Volk, too. It's Volk. Volkanovski does that, man. But, like, dude, I think that Holloway's volume against these shorter opponents, it's going to suffer. He's a guy that likes going to the body. You watch every single one of his recent fights against taller opponents. He's going to the body. He's jabbing to the body. That's just not an option for him against a guy like Topuria. And backing him up, if Holloway wants to snowball and fight downhill, is going to be a nightmare against a guy like Ilia Topuria. And Topuria's defense is really good. His chin is really good. And he can mix in the takedowns. So the threat of the takedown is on his mind, too, just as it was when he was fighting Frankie Edgar. There's no threat of the takedown when you're in there with Justin Gaethje. There's just not. And Justin Gaethje is a big boom, boom hooks guy. And there's not a whole lot that he's got to offer. He's not as calculated. He overswings. He's fallen over himself sometimes. We call him Rufus for a reason. Ilia Topuria is much more calculated than that. So all I'm saying is if you think this is an easy fight for Max, you're wrong. I don't think you're delusional for picking Max. That's not what I mean. I'm saying Holloway's fanboys are delusional for thinking that he can win this however he wants, that this is an easy fight for him. It's fucking difficult for Max Holloway. It just is. I'm picking Topuria. And when I say he's going to beat Holloway's ass, again, I don't mean it in he's so many levels above. I just think he's going to beat up Holloway by punching him in the face in multiple rounds, and it's going to cause damage. And he's going to be the one that's more beaten up by the end of it. And guess what? Topuria is not just someone that got fucking lucky. So it's time for us to look at some of these Holloway fanboy remarks. So here's a perfect example of people writing off Topuria and kind of treating him like he's not someone to be taken serious. And he's a one-hit wonder. And yeah, he just knocked out Volk because Volk was chinny. So Patty Pimblett, he says, I think I've got the same as everyone. Everyone's picking Max Lad. Everyone's picking Max Lad. Look at Pimblett. The facial expression matches the quote. He knows what'll happen, lad. He knows what'll happen. So basically, he's scared to take the fight against Max. He knows what'll happen. Really? Just because Holloway flatlined Gagey, we know that he's going to KO Ilia Topuria. We just know that's going to happen. Okay? This guy beat Volkanovski. He was the first person to ever beat Volkanovski in featherweight history. The first person to take Volkanovski's undefeated record at featherweight. And he set it up with perfect skill and technique. He's got insanely good boxing and he's well-rounded. Yet everyone knows what'll happen, lad? No, that's not how it is. This is a post from ESPN MMA, and I'm going to read a bunch of the comments because there's this narrative that Ilia is afraid of Max and he's ducking Max. I don't know where the fuck that comes from. But this guy says, you guys should fight after the Merab fight. He's basically tweeting at O'Malley to fight Ilia Topuria after the Merab fight. And Sean says, I would love to, but Max about to whoop his ass. O'Malley's coming at us with the energy of, yeah, but Max about to whoop his ass anyway. Yeah, we all kind of know Holloway's about to whoop this guy's ass. And then this guy says, Ilia may be from Dagestan the way he's dodging fights. How is he dodging this fight? What has he said that makes us believe that he's dodging this fight? Let me guess. He said he doesn't want to fight any of his contenders. He's literally been calling out Max Holloway since the KO. I don't understand this. Has he said that he's not fighting at the Sphere? No. He actually came out a couple of days ago and said, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the holdup is. I want to fight Max. I don't know where this is coming from. They're just creating this narrative out of thin fucking air that he's afraid of Max Holloway. Why does everyone think Max buy whatever he wants, bro? This guy says Max buy whatever he wants, man. Yep, basically. Sean is actually right, though, man. Like, he kind of has a point, man. He kind of has a point, bro. Dude, I love fucking reacting to these comments, dude. First time I actually agree with Sean, man. Yeah, I love these. I love the, I don't like the guy, but he kind of has a point with this. I kind of love those ones, okay? This guy's his first time I actually agree with Sean. I don't really like O'Malley, but he's just speaking facts. I mean, we know Topuria was just going to get his ass whooped by Max. Do we, though? Do we really? Why are people acting like this is such an easy fight? This is quite literally the second hardest fight of Max's entire fucking career. So this guy says, you could tell after Holloway flatlined Gagey at UFC 300, Ilia wanted nothing to do with Holloway. He literally called him out that week. Just because he had an impressed facial expression doesn't mean he wants nothing to do with Max. You could look at anyone else in the building after that KO and they were all wide-eyed with their hands over their heads, speechless. He's a spectator like any one of us watching that crazy KO. Holloway buy whatever he wants, man. I just think this is so ridiculous. Holloway buy whatever he wants? This has to be bait. Or it's just, he's just pumping his favorite fighter up. And I get it. Some of the Topuria fans have been saying the same thing. Topuria buy whatever he wants. Some of them have been saying that to kind of, give Max Holloway fans a taste of their own medicine. But I think that both of these guys are in for a tough battle. I mean, I'm picking Topuria. I think he's the right pick. I think he should be the favorite. But I'm not saying Topuria by however he wants. It's going to be tough for him to knock Max out or beat him. Ilia obviously wants no part of Max, man. Yeah, he just wants no part of him. Even though he's been talking about knocking him out for the past 6 months, is ready to fight on the Sphere, hasn't said anything else, but he wants to fight at the Sphere. I don't know where you're coming up with this. But anyway, you kind of get what I'm saying. You can see the comments. I don't think that it is silly to suggest that Ilia Topuria is going to lose to Holloway. I don't think it's silly to pick Max Holloway. I think that Holloway shouldn't be the favorite. I think it's a tough stylistic matchup for him, but I just think it's delusional to say that Holloway by however he wants or Ilia Topuria is scared. Why the fuck would he be scared? This guy's a world champion. He's undefeated. He has crazy KO power. He's got good defense. He has a good chin. Why would he be scared of Max? I'm sure he's scared the way every fighter is scared when they're walking out because they don't know what's going to happen and their heart rate's going crazy and whatnot. But he's not scared and shivering in his boots and anything but Max. He's not scared in that way. He's not running from the fight. Okay? He wants this fight. Holloway is not the monster that people think he is against these fighters with the stature of Ilia Topuria, that can mix it up, that have good boxing defense as well, that can land body shots, that can land damaging strikes, overhands, where, they're not making it easy for Holloway to set his shots. So, I think we're about to find out, man. I think we're about to find out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time.